trying to make y'all comfortable. For the record, you ain't trying to grow, then it's done for you. For the record, lab on me going all the way. For the record, ain't trying to link, no time to waste. For the record, for the record, for the record, for the record.
We are back on the Homeland Daily show each and every single day from 7:20 all the way till 8 o'clock. We got some special guests inside the building as well as my co-host Liz joining us all the way from New York City. Liz, how are you doing today? I know, so Liz is having some technical difficulties right now, but we have a full show tonight. We got some special guests. So as we all know, it's our Entrepreneur Thursdays, and we have this each and every Thursday. We also have our ER report today as well. So make sure that you guys give it up for Liz Charles.
Hi.
What's up, Liz?
Sorry about that.
No worries. How are you?
I'm good. I am so glad to be on the Homeland show today. I'm excited to speak with our special guest for tonight about entrepreneurship. I know that's something that's of both interest to both you and I. And so every Thursday I get so excited. How are you doing? How's your day?
You know what? I'm doing good today. I got a little bit of a workout despite all the weather conditions. Yeah, I know. Let's dust it off a little bit. But other than that, everything is going good. So I know we got some entertainment report today, so I'm gonna let you kick it off.
Yeah. So do you remember last year Nike released the ad that had everybody talking because it was featuring Colin Kaepernick?
Yes.
And at the end of the ad, it said, "Believe in something if it means sacrificing everything." And everyone was like, oh my gosh, Nike just came in and put themselves out there for Kaepernick, and it was huge. But then they were also they were low-key exploiting Kaepernick, but that's okay, that's fine. Well, it turns out that Kaepernick may not necessarily have had to sacrifice everything. A source is now saying that many teams are vying for the former NFL quarterback. So there you see him kneeling, and that was what got him into the controversy in the first place, because he was kneeling as a silent protest against police brutality. But now that the owners of the NFL have kind of rolled back on that, given all the protests, they're like, we were wrong. We maybe spoke up too soon on this. And
what
now,
else are you gonna do? It's you gotta either show up or shut up at this point. So
right, it's that time. And so suddenly you have teams who are vying for Cap now at this point. The only issue is that because he hasn't worked since 2016, he hasn't been on the field since 2016, they'd have to see him do a workout. Now, I don't know if you remember, but last year, Jay-Z, supposedly, he never actually confirmed it, but arranged a workout for Kaepernick. And it was supposed to be something, but it was the way it was kind of done wasn't cool. So then Cap was like, he's not doing that. He's going to do his own workout. And he organized his own workout. But it seemed like it was just kind of it almost seemed like they were doing it more as a publicity thing than as a real workout. Yeah. But now, apparently, there's at least one team that is very, very interested in hiring him again.
I mean, look at him. He's basically the talk of the town, and we all know what comes with celebrity is just obviously more endorsement deals, but also everyone's just wanting to grab at you all at once. And obviously, he had to go through the storm, and he had to be basically one of the only people who did really protest before all the huge protesting started. So I think great job on Kaepernick. I think he's doing a really good job. So kind of see what's gonna happen for the future for sure.
And you know what? I hope whatever contract he gets is really good, because he also got a private settlement from the NFLs. Because when they blackballed him, so he's just rolling in it. But people should know, stand up for what you believe in. It may not always end up this way, but sometimes it will.
Exactly.
More changes happening at Disney in the most fun place in the world. I don't know if you've ever ridden Splash Mountain, but they are changing the theme of. Have you been to Disney?
I have not been to Disney before.
That's fine. I'm not
I
going to Disney
know.
shame you. I
I
am
know.
not
I've
going to
only been to
Disney
Busch
shame.
Gardens. Like that. Busch Gardens is my shit. That's the thing. So I
Have
don't
you
know.
been to Busch Gardens more than once and not
I've
been
been
to
to Busch
Disney?
Gardens probably like 15 to 20 times.
I wasn't going to Disney shame you, but now I don't even understand. Like, I'm so confused. You weren't even like a little intrigued about Disney?
It was like. But you know what? Tell us what's going on at Disney.
Anyway, so for those of us, the rest of us who live on Earth, who have been to Disney World and have ridden on the ride Splash Mountain, they're changing the theme now to a Princess and the Frog theme.
Oh
So
wow.
before, the theme was based on a controversial Disney classic, Song of the South, that was racist. And now they're basing it on Princess and the Frog, and it's going to be all like New Orleans themed for like
That's dope.
after the princess marries the prince. And
That's amazing.
so they're making movements and progress as well. Not that it would matter to you, because apparently you don't like Disney.
I'm like,
You have no joy. It's fine.
yeah, it's right.
In local news, some positive things happening with the Cayman police. We
wow.
have just, we're in the process of getting 12 new cops. COVID slowed down their development, but now they're able to go back into their classes and training, and so that they can work towards their graduation. So they're 12 new. And 8 of them are women. 4 of them are men. 8 of them are women. I'm so excited about
What?
this. Yes.
8 ladies on the road giving away tickets. I love it.
Yes. And hopefully if they pull me over, they'll be like, it's cool, sis. That's what I'm hoping for.
Yep.
And 9 of them are Caymanians, while the remaining 3 are permanent residents. So it's also, locals being employed. And that's so important to have people in your police force who are invested and a part of the community. I mean, that's what the problem is with the U.S., right? Like, there's people who aren't invested in the communities, policing the communities.
And you know what? I'm so glad that I'm seeing a lot of Caymanian faces on this picture here, because normally, like when I get pulled over, if it's a British police or something like that, I'm scared. Okay, I don't want them pulling me over. So as long as it's a local that's pulling me over, I'm fine with the ticket. It's whatever at this point.
Right. I mean, I still be trying to reason.
Of course, you can't stop the hustle. But I mean,
how many times have you been pulled over?
I probably for my tint it's been like 3 times, and I had to.
You just outed yourself.
Yeah, but I took off my tint. I had to, so that's the deal.
He took it off, y'all. He took it off.
I did.
I've been pulled over twice.
And what was that for?
Once I was on my way, like from a wedding to like the wedding reception, from the church section to the reception section. And it was like in my first year of undergrad, and I think the police officer was just like, he was like, what are you doing? And I was like, I'm here, it's break, it's Christmas break, I'm at a wedding. He was like, all right, just go. Like, he just didn't have time. He was like, I can't be bothered, just go.
Oh boy. You know that most women start crying though when they get pulled over. Did you start crying, Liz?
No, I didn't start crying. I did cry the very first time I was pulled over. No, the first time I got a ticket, like actually got a ticket, not pulled over. And so I didn't cry in front of the officer. I waited until after he left.
Nah, you better bring him upstairs while he's right there. You better bring him. Better bring it.
Because it's different when you get a warning from when you get like your first actual ticket. You're like, my perfect record. Anyway, speaking of people who were cringing, so the Latin artist Maluma, so he is a huge Hispanic star. He has tons of songs. The one that I know is Felices Los Cuatro. He has songs with Shakira and Ricky Martin, and he's blown up over the last few years. Well, turns out he may have been trying to run a little hustle. So the owner of Soho House and the Ivy, do you know Soho House?
Yes,
it's like, yeah,
yes.
okay, cool.
I love Soho House.
So for those of you who don't know Soho House, it's like a bunch of these like luxury clubs that are for like artists.
Yeah. But it's super like, it's like security at the door is all that. So you can't
just go. Yeah. Like you can't go unless you're a member or a guest of a member. And there's the membership fee. Like in New York, the membership fee is like nearly $3,000 a year, that kind of thing. I personally have a side eye towards Soho House, and low key looking up the owner of Soho House today, I have even more of a side eye towards Soho House. Having said that, I'm not saying what Maluma did was right, and I'm about to tell you what he did. So the owner of Soho House, he was getting married, and his new Brazilian model wife is a huge fan of Maluma. So he says, okay, I'm going to pay for his services to come and perform for the wedding. Now, I don't know if you know the ranges for prices for performers, Rico.
Oh, bank.
But usually it can be about like $250,000 for like a solid performer, right? So he charged him $375,000 plus it was going to be like 32, an entourage of 32 people, a private plane, a swanky hotel, all of these additional.
He's the biggest artist, though. He's the biggest like artist in the whole world right now. So I mean, what can you really do?
Listen, so it was $375 plus all of that, right? And then they had to change the date of the wedding because Maluma's team said something. So they said, okay, we're going to change the date. So it was supposed to be in Dominican Republic. They said, instead, we're going to do it in the summer in Rome. Then, and this guy already sent the deposit of $375,000, right?
He wants to book Maluma like ASAP, basically.
Exactly. Like, he's like, my wife loves you. It's fine. I'm going to spend the money.
Yeah, cool. He got the cash.
Come to find out, Maluma's people then say to him, after he's already sent the money, right? He's already sent $375,000. They say, oh, well, now it's going to mess up his tour schedule. And so we're going to need you to pay double. At which point he was like, excuse me, you asked me to spend $1 million basically on this performer. No, thank you. Please give me my money back. And they refused to give him his money back. So now they're in court over $1 million. Yo, he was really trying it. What do you think, Rico?
That sounds like a straight up finesse. Like, but then at the same time too, it's like a deposit is a deposit for a reason. You don't just give someone a whole check and expect them. Anything could happen. They could die like right away, and anything can happen. So I mean, it's just like, why are you really putting yourself through that?
It was a hustle. That's a hustle if I've ever seen a hustle. Like I totally agree with this guy. I don't like this guy just based on his face. I also don't like Soho House. That's a whole nother issue, even though you may or may not see me there sometimes. But that's
you know what? I had to bring this up. I had the best Soho experience of my life. So I think we were in LA, and I went with someone who was a member, but I also went with like 6 or 7 other people. We were all from Goldfire, and we were like, all right. He basically said, the member, he's like, you just rush past the elevator and you just start laughing. Even if they try to stop you guys just start laughing hysterically and go right into the elevator. So we just start laughing hysterically. They're trying to stop us. And then the members, like, who we went with, they're like, oh, you don't know these guys? Like, these guys are Goldfire. They're from da-da-da-da-da. And they did not care after that. We were upstairs, like, taking pictures in the selfie booth. We ended up going, like, the back area with, like, the piano, and, like, only, like, certain people, like, they said Elton John has played there, Lady Gaga, like, a bunch of other people. So it was super dope.
Whenever you go to Soho House, you always see like a couple celebrities there hanging out and stuff like that. I You have to understand, like,
what?
I hate
You're still gonna
the
go.
whole, but I go every once in a while, but I do not pay that membership fee. I refuse to pay the membership fee. Because I don't like that whole like vibe, that whole like I'm somebody
Yeah,
vibe.
it's true. It was very like egotistical. As soon as like
Yes.
you felt it in the air, it's like
Yes.
you can't even look at anyone too long unless they think like, oh, you're a fan, you're trying to get something. Nah, I'm just trying to see who you are. That's it.
Not even, and I'm not even trying to see who you are. Like for me,
Right.
I'm like I'm minding my business, drinking my waters, trying to stay hydrated and moisturized. Like that's me. But that's that's it for your entertainment report. I'm excited for us to talk about more welcoming topics and more welcoming environments.
Yes, most definitely. So right backstage we have right now, it's our Entrepreneur Thursdays, which we have every single Thursday. Last week was amazing. The week before that was amazing. But we also have a special guest with us tonight. So she comes from a long line of entrepreneurs in the Cayman Islands and is an entrepreneur herself. She's a lawyer, and now she's finally bringing her lifelong dream of having a bed and breakfast into reality. She actually built over the last year 10 bed and breakfast cottages in the beautiful district of East End. Let's bring in Lynn Bodden. How are you doing, Lynn Bodden?
Hey, hi Rico, hi Liz. Thank you for having me. I'm honored to be on the Homeland show.
Thank
you so much for joining us. We're so excited to have you. So we know that you have these beautiful cottages, and we want to talk to you about them. And we know, previously you practiced law. Can you just tell us a little bit about your dream and why you decided to start these cottages?
Well, it goes pretty much my whole life. I come from a family of tourism pioneers. My parents have been in the tourism business from before I was born. And I guess it's in my blood, and it's something I've always enjoyed and always loved. Law was never my passion, but people are my passion. And I love to cook. I love to make breakfast. And just about 6 years ago, my friend said to me, she said, "Lynn, I found this property. You got to buy it. This is where you're going to put your dream." And I thought, well, can't really afford it, but the bank worked with me and I bought it, and just everything sort of fell into place. And I was able to meet with my architect, and he designed some beautiful Caribbean cottages. And it's exactly what I wanted, because I feel that we've lost the Caribbean feel in Cayman, and at the cottages you feel like you're on an island.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Most definitely. I think, and I love the cottages. If anyone has ever been there, you guys will definitely have to check it out. And Lynn, I've also known Lynn for a very long time, and she's super pro Caymanian. She's everything about Caymanians, and I'm just super blessed to have her here at the Homeland Daily. But Lynn, what is the most difficult part for you? Was it building the cottages, or was it being a lawyer? Because I know both of those things maybe have stressed you out in the past. What has been the biggest stress for you?
I think COVID was the biggest stress for me.
Facts.
I opened in February the 8th. I was literally open for 6 weeks, and boom, everybody was gone. So that was a challenge. But you know what? I thought about it and I said, we've been through 9/11. We made it through the 2008 recession. We've been through Hurricane Ivan, and we can get through this. And everybody's been great. Everyone's been so supportive, and everyone's, just helped me and wanted to support locals. And it gave me time to reflect and gave me time to give back. And I couldn't feel sorry for myself, because I was here and I woke up to the beautiful Caribbean Sea every day. So I wasn't allowed to feel sorry for myself. But to answer your question, being a lawyer was challenging, and it was very hard work and tough, because I had my own firm. So I had to take not only my clients, but I had to take care of people. I had to take care of my staff, and it became real. And that was hard, because some months, could you pay your bills? Could you pay your overheads? It was tough. It was hard. But we were blessed. I had a wonderful partner. Sherry BODDEN was my partner, and she's still my sister and best friend. And, so she encouraged me, and we got through it together. And then when it became time for someone to come along and say, we're going to take over the farm, a new partner came along. That was time for Sherry and I to take a step back, and I was able to fulfill my dream. but I would say this is more challenging and more rewarding for me.
That's awesome.
With more challenge comes more reward. I love that.
It's more rewarding.
Yeah. So you talked about your partner Sherry, and then you also mentioned in the answer to the first question that your friend called you up and said, "Hey, there's this building here. You've got to do it." So can you talk about your friendships and how your friendships kind of help you as an entrepreneur, and like the importance of having that kind of crew?
Well, I think I'm very, very blessed because I'm surrounded by good people, and I'm surrounded by very positive people and people that encourage me. And I couldn't do it without that kind of support in my life. So it was Paula, actually, Paula McCartney, and she's a real estate agent. She owns Diamond Properties. And she said it was a piece of land. So I built from scratch. And she said, "This is your beach. This is what you need." And it's an acre on beautiful sandy beach. And I said, I can't afford this. And she said, "Yes, you can. You can do anything. You can do it." And luckily the bank worked with me, and it took me almost 5 years to do it. And Rico was we did a groundbreaking ceremony 2 years ago, and Rico was there, and he was there for my blessing, and he sang for me, and it was a beautiful day. And then 2 years later, I did my grand opening. So it's been a lot of work. Like I said, I've had really good support. I've had people advise me, friends, and a lot of people to guide me, and I'm just blessed. I've had amazing workers on the property, and even now after I'm finished, they still come and check on me, and they come around and they water my plants and they help me. So I really feel blessed.
That's amazing. That's amazing to hear. So we noticed that we're actually going to put some pictures up here right now, but we noticed that you had 10 amazing suites, and they all have different names. But which one you would say would be your favorite suite out of all 10? Because I know they all have different unique names.
Well, they all have a Caribbean vibe, and I wanted to name them. So I wanted them to all have a Caribbean name. So that one right there has the most beautiful view. That's Blue Iguana. I think my favorite one is Starfish, because it has a beautiful view, and you've got the breeze, and then you can see the sunrise in the morning.
That's amazing.
Ooh, look at that infinity pool. Oh, that is what I am missing in my life right now. I have no sunlight and no water.
You come.
Yes. And it's funny because before I found out that you were going to be on the show, we were having conversations, and Dane was like, "Man, I really want to go to this place in East End. Like I heard about it and it looks great." So, I mean, right now we were talking last night about what the real estate industry might be like in Cayman for the next few months. How are you feeling as an entrepreneur owning a place that's in tourism? Yes, we made it through 9/11. Yes, we made it through the 2008 recession. But how are you acting in a strategic way to empower yourself as an entrepreneur with owning real estate during this time?
Well, I had a lot of time to think. So what I did was I called some people. I've got friends in the yoga business. I have friends in the spa business. I have friends in the, CrossFit. And I called them all up and I said, "How do you feel if we do a retreat?" So we do a spa retreat, we do a yoga retreat, we do a wellness retreat. And it was very well received. So now I've got 3 retreats, which is helping me get through the hard time. I've also had support by many, many locals and many friends. And in July, I've got friends that are booked. They booked for 3-day weekend for birthday parties. I have a wedding. I have, like I said, the 3 retreats, and I have an 80th birthday party for one of my really close friends. So people are supporting me, and I'm getting a lot of staycations.
That's amazing.
Locals supporting local businesses. Yeah. I love it.
Yeah,
and it means a lot to me. It means a lot, and I try to give back as much as I can. I had some friends call me, and they had a death in their family, so I said, "Just come and stay." And I gave them a night complimentary, and I try to make everyone feel special, and I want everyone to feel like this is home and this is family, and I want them to love the cottages as much as I do.
Yeah. Most definitely. You know what, Lynn, we can definitely feel the love that you're in, the energy that you bring every single time. So it's definitely a blessing to have you here. But we're all about mental health as well. And on Wednesdays, we talk about mental health a lot. But I also noticed that you're actually having a retreat this Sunday in particularly about, I'm not too sure what it's about, but can you tell us a little bit more?
Well, this weekend I have a yoga and meditation retreat. It's a 2-day retreat, and Cayman Yoga Club is sponsoring that. I think it's going to be excellent way for people to just sort of get away from their homes, their kids, take a breath, breathe, look at the beautiful Caribbean Sea and do some meditation and just really be grateful for everything that we have. And I also have a wellness retreat coming up, and that's more of some mental health, some massage therapy, some Reiki, some spiritual things as well. So we're trying to do retreats for all different sectors.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Do you yourself practice any of these techniques? Are these things that you personally are getting into?
I'd love to get into yoga. I'm not good at it. It's hard, but my daughter's really into it. And she pushes me. But I do love it. And I feel once you try yoga, you honestly feel so much better after. So it's something that you really have to just do and practice. But I do love it. The CrossFit one, I am a member of the CrossFit with School of Fitness. So they're coming in, they're doing like a beach Zumba and a HIIT class and a CrossFit class. So I'm involved with that one. And the spa retreat, I think we'll get some different people from the various sectors involved, like Darla from Eclipse and different people like that.
But that's amazing that like you're able to channel things that you or your daughter loves and be able to create a space for that within and for the community to be able to experience those things as well. So props for that.
Thank you so much. You have to be creative during this time.
Yes, most definitely. Did you expect COVID to really take over like what it has?
No, I was in shock. Like I think I was in denial until they had the last flight out and they closed the borders. Because it's just sort of like, what had just happened? You just something you just can't fathom. And still up to now, you're like, are we in a video game? Is this real? It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, most definitely.
I mean,
I think we're coming back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It seems so, and we have to be very careful about the way we do it. That's the.
We have to be very careful, and I have to give props to the government. I think they did a great job. I think all the governments, they didn't have a handbook, and nobody knew what was happening or what to expect. So I think they handled it really, really well. And even though it was a bit hard for some of us, I think they did a great job, and I have to give a lot of credit to the government.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, are you taking special precautions with the reopen? I know a lot of people are very nervous about, places reopening and staying in places. How are you handling that to make people feel safer?
Well, because the way my cottages are built, there's like 10 feet between each cottage, and I close my front entrance so they can have the guests can have self check-in, so they don't have to see. There's no human contact. I've done the sterilization, sanitization courses. Department of Tourism has set up a like a Zoom class. Yes, not a Zoom. Anyway, like a web class yesterday, and that was really informative, and I learned a lot. And I put cleaning supplies in each unit. And then if someone is around the pool, they can self-sanitize the chairs. So I've just put in extra things and just make sure that people, for the yoga, we can social distance. We can be 6 feet apart.
You have the beach space to do so.
Yeah, for sure.
The beach and around the pool as well.
Yeah.
That's amazing. What can guests expect with at a weekend at the cottages?
Fun. No, really, like relaxation. To be honest, it's very quiet. It's very tranquil. I don't have any loud music playing. It's very serene. So like I do a self check-in. So they go to their room and I give everyone a little gift. And so they have their beach towels and I put flowers in the room, and so they have their little gift. They can go by the pool, and then I serve breakfast in the morning. And I'll make organic banana bread, and everything's organic.
It's interesting that the realtor called you and said, because the cottages it's in East End, correct? Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So did you ever consider attempting to be on West Bay Road? I mean, what is your idea about, West Bay Road, and if there's even anything left there for Caymanians to take advantage of? How do you feel about that?
I personally feel that West Bay Road it's overcrowded. You don't feel like you're on an island. Unfortunately, it's lost its Caribbean ambiance. And it sort of feels like a suburb of Miami. I mean, obviously we need the hotels, and we have beautiful hotels, but we also need more boutique hotels. We need more things that are Caymanian and Caribbean, and that's what I was trying to bring back with the cottages.
Is there any like set of people that you feel like is responsible for West Bay becoming a little Miami as opposed to, East End still being fresh?
Well, now we're getting political.
Lynn is a lawyer, so I mean,
no, I mean, honestly, I feel that it's just something we needed development. We needed it. Cayman developed very quickly because we're the jewel of the Caribbean, and we developed very quickly. And as a result of that, I think we all got carried away, and we all lost our what our heritage was, and what the culture was. And as Rico knows, Rico comes from a family of culture, and it's people like Miss Daphne, his grandmother, that I would love to come here and talk to my guests and let them know what true Cayman is about, and true Cayman kindness. And that's what I want to keep. And when you go on West Bay Road, you don't see that. And it was very interesting because I'd say 90% of my first guests were all first-time visitors to the island. And they would go visit 7 Mile Beach for the day, and they say no, they would never stay there. They want to come back, and they love it here. They love that it's tranquil. They love that it's quiet. It's away from the hustle and bustle. And there's traffic on West Bay Road. I mean, who wants to be on vacation and be in traffic?
Yes, and
Nobody.
I mean,
Facts.
the views that you have there in East End are like just remarkable, and I think it's all about the culture that you're really pushing, and that's really the mark that we should all be using as Caymanians. But speaking of Caymanians, there's so many actually young Caymanians who recently, just got an emergency pension for the first time, and some of them, may have gotten a lot of money and maybe are unsure as to what to do with that money. Obviously, today's Entrepreneur Thursdays, and we have you here. You're a lawyer, but you're also an entrepreneur as well. So what's some advice that you would give to them?
I would tell them to be very smart with their money. Don't be smart with their money. Do financial planning. Maybe speak to a financial planner or a financial consultant. And I just joined a Resilience Cayman, and they're doing free financial consulting for Caymanians, young Caymanians, especially when they're getting their pension. All of a sudden you have $10,000 or $15,000 in your hand, and you're like, I want to buy a new car, or I want to buy, whatever. If you're not going to invest in something tangible like a house or a piece of land, or invest it, I would say don't, because why do you need the immediate gratification? That's immediate. That handbag, you don't need that. Invest this money. This is a lot of money. Invest it in something that you can keep for your future. And I recommend young Caymanians invest in real estate and property, because it's not going to be around forever and at these prices. So I would say invest it wisely and set out a plan. Obviously, unless you have huge debt. One thing you don't want are big credit card bills, because if you have large credit card bills, you look at your credit card every month, and this is something that was killing me because I had to spend a lot of money on my credit cards. I got my pension, and I put everything towards my credit cards because I was paying $1,000 a month in interest. That's a lot of money in interest, Rico. So that's money that was going nowhere. So I said, you know what? Let me pay off the credit cards, have that debt gone, and that $1,000 a month is gone. So I would advise kids, pay off your credit card, invest in a piece of land, or put in a fixed deposit until you know what you want to do with it.
What was the name of the group you said you joined for financial planning?
So I was so over this COVID thing, I was kind of lost, and I wanted to give back to the community. So I was asked to be a director of a nonprofit charity called Resilience Cayman. And what they did immediately was they were feeding people. And that's very near and dear to me, because I know how many people suffered. They lost their jobs. They were dishwashers, or they were, worked as maids and help in the hotel, or they were bartenders. They all lost their jobs, and these people didn't have big savings, a lot of them. So they were feeding people, and I love the fact that it was all nationalities. It wasn't just, okay, we're going to support one group or just Caymanians. It was all nationalities, and I think that's important, that we don't discriminate. And at a time like this, everybody needs to eat.
Beautiful. I'm going to ask you one last question before we begin to wrap up. But whenever we have entrepreneurs on, I really like to ask, about a hurdle that you had to overcome. What was your biggest challenge in terms of getting the cottages, like actually building out this venture?
That's a
one of
difficult
them.
question.
I'm sure you might have had many challenges, but
That's
one of them.
Because I've had many challenges that I've had to overcome. Oh gosh, the biggest challenge. There's so many, just like getting planning approval and getting financing and doing all the due diligence and selling my law firm. It'd be difficult for me just to say one challenge. Getting my certificate of occupancy, because I literally got my power the day before I opened.
Wow.
Otherwise, I was going to get candles and tiki torches.
Where there's a will, there's a way.
But you were, I guess the thing behind the question is how you kind of handle that obstacle and how you were able to kind of take it in stride. And because being an entrepreneur is difficult, as you said. Yeah.
I just think, like, some days I felt like I was going to give up and I was going to just forget it and walk away from it. And then I'll call one of my friends and they're like, you cannot walk away. Snap out of it. Let me slap your face and, wake up and start over, and that's how I felt a lot of days, because there was just so many, over budget, or, the first one was, I needed to find a new project manager. They were, a year late in starting, it was just, it was so many. It wasn't just one thing. It's just, I think just never giving up, never, ever, ever give up. And nothing, you can overcome anything if you set your mind to it. You just have to be positive and you have to believe and you have to say, you know what, it could always be worse. It could always be worse. And one day I had I think we just got a container and someone broke into my container and they took 2 of everything. And I just said, you know what, I'm not going to cry over this. It could have been worse. I'm not going to cry over that. I'm going to move on. And that's, you just have to focus. You have the mindset, you move on. Because if you focus on dwelling on each and every problem, you're never going to get past it.
Yeah.
So you can't dwell. You can't dwell. Everything happens for a reason, and it could always be worse. And that's what I kept saying to myself. It could always be worse.
Yep. Most definitely.
They could have taken 3 of everything.
Solid point.
You know what, Lynn, thank you obviously so much for being on the Homeland Daily Show. It's been a pleasure to have you. You came with a wealth of knowledge along with a positive energy that we all just needed to face today. So thank you so much for coming here.
Thank you so much.
Yes, exactly. I know we're winding down right now, like what Liz said before. So I'm actually going to start it off with Liz. So Liz, what are your final thoughts just for tonight, and any advice you want to give to any entrepreneurs out there?
Sure. So, Lynn, just for context, so you know what we're doing, we always do a round at the end where everybody says, their final thoughts. So we're going to ask you as well to give your final thoughts to everyone who's listening. And I would say, Lynn just suggested Resilience Cayman. They're giving away financial planning courses. You have her speaking to us right now on the Homeland Daily on Entrepreneurs Thursday. We have a wealth of resources at our fingertips. And so I would say, think about the resources that you have available to you and make sure you tap into them. It's so easy to say, oh, I can't start because I don't have this and I don't have that. But look at the resources that you have right now to help you get started. And so, I just encourage people to just do it, as Nike said.
Yeah, that's amazing, Liz. Thank you so much as well. I think my final thoughts would just be, obviously, just have your ton of vision, just be super focused on what the goal and what the project may be. Exactly like what Lynn says, you have to have a ton of patience, and you just have to be able to get over the basic shit of the world and just the bad energy. So last but not least, thank you so much, Lynn. I know we want to give you your last final thoughts on Entrepreneur Thursdays, and just any advice out there to young Caymanians who are just watching the show for the first time.
Well, thank you so much for having me. It means a lot. And so great to see you, Rico and Liz. Thank you. I think just set goals for yourself and be patient, because nothing is easy and nothing happens overnight. And to be an entrepreneur takes hard work. And a lot of people think, oh, easy money, easy money. There's no such thing as easy money. You have to have patience. Find a mentor, believe in yourself. I think that's the main thing. Believe in yourself. And you can do anything that you set your mind to. Here's fellow. You can do anything you set your mind to. You just have to believe in yourself and hard work. You know what? Hard work, positivity, and surround yourself with good people.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Lynn. For everyone who's watching, that was Lynn Bodden for Entrepreneur Thursday. She's our special guest, and she's also the owner of the Cottages Cayman. Lynn, where can we all contact you? You know, we may want to be wanting to book this weekend or next weekend. Where can we get in contact for the Cottages Cayman?
Please do. Well, I have a website. It's www.thecottagescayman.com, or you can email me at stay@thecottagescayman.com. My cell number's on my website. Please give me a call at any time. Happy to work with anybody. I'm doing a local special right now, $150 a night, and that includes breakfast. It's a 3-night minimum, but I'll work with you. And also, if you need financial consulting, reach out to Resilience Cayman, and they'll help you with the financial consulting. Or email me. I'm happy to give someone a free advice or a call. I'm happy to help people.
Yep, there it is, guys. So if you're watching right now, the website is also below the Cottages Cayman. You can contact her at 916-4894, or you can email her at stay@thecottagescayman.com. So thank you so much, Lynn, and we look forward to having you on the show again.
Thanks for having me. Take care. Good night. Thanks so much.
There it is, guys. So that was Lynn Bodden. What did you think about tonight, Liz?
I love her energy. I just love her energy.
Yes, yeah. Honestly, Lynn's energy is like number one. I think there's, especially being a lawyer, like most of the time that you can't really connect with people like that because they obviously have just so much pressure on them. But I think Lynn, she's just a dime a dozen and a rare gem for Cayman. So it was definitely a pleasure to have her on the show. You have any final thoughts before we wrap it up?
You already got my final thoughts, but I can't wait to see everybody tomorrow for Turner Fridays.
Most definitely. So make sure you guys check it out. It's going to be happy hour. We got DJ Yo-Yo. We got DJ Yo-Yo in the building. So make sure you guys tune in. It's going to be every single day on the weekdays from 7:20 all the way till 8:20 p.m. Make sure you guys check it out. This is the Homeland Daily Show. Peace.
Trying to make y'all comfortable. For the record, you ain't trying to grow, then it's done for you. For the record,